Welcome to another community interview hosted by head writer, that would be me, Nikki. I'm sick, but uh, snot flowing out of my nose does not stop me from interviewing people, however. So I'm here today with Bulgarian runner. It's just underscore Vlad. Say hi, Vlad.
Hey, mad respect to you, Nikki, for your dedication and work.
Thanks. That means quite a bit. So, um, for the people who are not familiar with you, could you introduce yourself and tell us what got you to speedrunning?
Absolutely. As you said, my name's just Vlad. I do HP1 runs primarily from very, very rare occasions. Used to stream a lot before, but life happened and I had to take a little bit of a backseat.
Feel
Uh,
that?
Besides that, just having fun with HP1 generally.
So, you said you like HP1, so then I'm assuming that the transition over to high jump was actually kind of natural to you.
Absolutely. It was one of those categories where it sounded interesting, and when you run it, it became promising.
That brings us to my next question. Take me or take us. So I gotta talk for the viewers, I suppose. Through a high jump run.
Ooh, I guess we're gonna be here for an hour and 5 minutes.
Well,
That,
you can give me like the synopsis, right?
that, basically, a, a high jump run primarily consists of you trying to skip as much of the unskippable cutscenes that are normally present in the normal runs. However, there are some very different strats that could be used in the game to save quite a bit chunk of time. However, there's also still aspects from any percent that are used in the run that are just faster. But beside that, it's you just jump. You jump a lot.
So take me through. Um, so you definitely weren't the first person, right, to do a high jump run. So take me through like the history of a high jump. Like who were the first people to run it, and then who were the people to improve it, and then how did you get to improve it?
Hmm. Now that is a really good question there. So with regards to the beginning of high jump, uh, the first person that brought this into the scene was definitely Dr. Cass. He proposed this, then he mapped the route, and after mapping the basically the first so to say tutorial on how to do high jump, I believe Renee was the second person to actually run the category, and with us generally speaking needing only three people to submit a category for it to be approved. When the run was brought to me by Cass, I was instantly on board as it sounded fun. I've seen high jump in HP2, and that one looked fun. So I was like, instantly, yeah, why not? And after that, it just started picking up a little bit of momentum, I'd say. Quite a few people started joining in. For example, Akon. I believe he managed to beat my record in about 2, 3 runs after learning it. So that was also mad impressive. But what also was really good, um, Akon was actually able to assist us with finding a very good strat when it comes to skipping Lumos level at the end of it.
Okay.
But if we have to talk about improvements of the category, it's a lot of community effort. I don't think it's a single person that contributed more or less. I mean, of course, Castle, he definitely did. I'd say that the heavy lifting to pave the way for us to then just figure out, play around with things, and just find something. But beside that, we had Porto who found the Saybrook Super Jump that was kind of in the middle of Lumos. Sorry, not Lumos, Wingardium, where you can just basically jump with the Saybrook Super Jump right to the end of the level. Um, as I previously mentioned, a con came in, found an instant clip at the end of Lumos, which pretty much means you don't need to activate the pixie and you can skip the other Saybrook Super Jump that I personally was experimenting with to skip, you know, getting over to the ledge. And of
Hmm.
course, there was the third variation that Renee found, which was a super jump from the ledge clip of one of the platforms where you basically slide onto an invisible block. It's kind of a block, just preventing you from just skipping a lot of things. But a lot of variation happened by people running this, so definitely a community effort with improving the run.
All right. Um, that's like that's like the beautiful thing I think about this community, right? Like we just all work together in getting certain categories as low as they can go out of love for the Harry Potter games, right?
Absolutely.
So we have to mention that the high jump record is now below any percent. Um, that's quite impressive in and of itself that it got there that fast. I want to say after the categories invention. How much lower do you think it could go?
Well, the thing with that question is it's I'd say knife with double edges. If we're purely talking about all possible skip, all little improvements when it comes to movement, optimizations, the lowest I've gotten it to would be um, around, I don't want to say sub 1 hour because it's not 100% there yet, but definitely lower than 101. Um,
That is kind of huge.
if we're talking about currently what could be done, um, I believe in the current world record, there's still at at minimum 40 seconds still lost in Lumos again due to the clip. Um, as normally to go for the fastest possible way, I approach it with trying to get the super jump. If you fail the super jump, you then go into the clip. But if you fail the clip, you could die. Then you need to reset, so on. So there's quite a few of time lost there. Also, overall through the run, there's bits where it just weren't as good as they should be. So I'll definitely say, without going for perfection, 103, even high 102 is definitely doable.
But an optimized run would look like one would look like 150, like 1 hour and 50 seconds ish.
Extremely optimized run, that would be perhaps around 120 creeping in
Okay.
to the lower parts. But again, this is so far just hypothetical, as there's still a
Yeah.
few things that we were experimenting with and few strats that could potentially save time, but um, some things are kind of like task only
Hmm.
possible. For example, the the Wingardium Sableye Super Jump. Now you could try to get a setup, but from what I've been playing around with, it's kind of hard. try to get it at the perfect angle for you to land at the front door at the end of the level. So unless somebody is able to find an extremely consistent setup, so far that strat is pretty much a 50-50 coin flip. You either get it or you don't.
Um, I think we're gonna move on to the next question. Not that I want to like cut you off or anything.
Absolutely, no, no worries.
Um, so I think I have to ask, since any percent in HP1 PT is known to be quite brutal, right? It's very difficult to gain any time, and it's very easy to lose time at the same time. So, um, is that the same for high jump, or is it more forgiving? I want to say.
Well, I'd say that the HP1 runs follow the same tendency. HP1 is just unforgiving at times, but with high jump, there is some leniency. Now, with the increased jump, you can recover certain struts and you can even try to, you know, circumvent the difficulties of other struts, but um, it would still be quite hard to consistently save up time, even in high jump.
Okay. Um, I think that includes this interview. Is there anything that is there anyone you'd like to thank, or is there anything you'd like to mention before uh, I leave your lunch break?
Uh, as previously mentioned, shoutouts to Cass for being the pioneer of this, and massive respects to Renee, everybody else that ran it, Dabs as well, Akon, Forp as well, so many others that also ran this. It's just amazing to see some new category that brings choice to people, and for HP1 to have a category that could potentially compete and maybe even go a bit beyond what any percent currently is. So massive respect to those people and then also to the community in general.
I don't think I could agree more. Thanks again, Vlad. And yeah, that'll be the end of the interview.